A great way to bring your business ideas to life is to tap into your intuition and get into the state of what we call flow. Now, when you're in the flow state, it's like as if all of your ideas and all of the work that you're doing, it just flows from you so freely. And it's like it's coming from somewhere else. It's literally as if the ideas are flowing through you and out into whatever it is that you're doing. Now, the flow state is something that's often related to our general happiness and well-being. But we can also access that state when it comes to business. Now, there are 5 stages in which we go through within the flow stage. And the first one starts off as a light bulb, and then we go into struggle street, and then acceptance, and then we hit that flow, and then afterwards we integrate. So breaking it down a little bit, that first stage of the light bulb. Now, the light bulb is where an idea literally feels like it drops into you. And I mean, you may be sitting somewhere, you could be going for a swim, you could be out on a walk, and it's like all of a sudden this idea drops in, and it's like it's been gifted to you from the universe, which of course it has. Now, those light bulbs, those are the ideas where it's like, oh my goodness, they get you so excited, and it's like, how has no one ever thought of this before? And this is going to be the idea that skyrockets me into the next stages. Now, what happens then is that we jump in our car, we go full throttle, we're ready to take on the world with this light bulb idea, and then all of a sudden we make a sharp turn and we end up in struggle street. Now, what happens in struggle street? Struggle street is where all our doubt and insecurities live, and they start coming in and kind of going, oh, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to come up with that idea? Why should you be the one that has this idea? I'm sure you can't do it. You know you're not good enough. Now, when we're in struggle street, what happens is that stress and that anxiety and that feeling of not being good enough tends to kick in. Now, the thing that most people do at this stage is they turn straight back around, jump back in their car, and they go back home and let those great ideas just disappear. But what you don't realize is that at the end of struggle street is acceptance avenue. But in acceptance avenue, what happens is that even though we're coming into obstacles, even though we have things that pop up that may not get us straight into flow, we have a reminder to ourselves that this is part of the process, and that all of the great things in life actually, in fact, live on the other side of struggle, and that's where we find them. Now, when we jump into acceptance avenue, what happens is that we allow ourselves to let go a little bit. We let go of that stress and anxiety. All of a sudden, we can see how we've ended up on struggle street, and that the problems and the obstacles that are popping up, all of a sudden we can see why, and we can start to get that real perspective. Now, when that perspective happens, all of a sudden, that's where you'll start going into flow. And when you start going into flow, it's like the ideas just keep dropping in, keep dropping in, keep dropping in for how you can make your light bulb idea come to life. Now, when I was designing, this would be what I would be calling the hook. And it was, I'd always get into struggle street when I was working on a new collection. I'd be thinking, oh, nothing's coming together. And then as soon as I reminded myself to accept and let go a little bit, all of a sudden the hook would drop in, and the hook was that one garment that brought the whole collection to life, that gave it the breath that it needed to get going. Now, when you're in that flow state, it literally feels like time could disappear. And now, to put it into a normal term, not into a business term, you know, this could be like if you're reading a really great book and you're racing to get to the end and you can't put it down. That's that same feeling of flow stage. So it's the same when you're working on this business idea. When you get into flow, it's like they'll just be coming through you, and all of those golden nuggets will start dropping in. Now, the last state of the flow is actually integration. Now, what happens with integration is that once we've worked on all these ideas and we've had all this flow happening, and then we actually allow ourselves to relax and recover, what happens at that time is that the integration of our ability to jump into that flow stage, our ability to believe in ourselves, and our ability to know that we have what it takes to really pull this thing off is what happens in the integration stage. It gets so deep into our bodies, we've experienced that incredible stage, that we know that it can be repeatable. And that is where you are able to keep working on ideas, bring in new light bulb ideas, and let them go straight through in that process. The reality is with the path, though, is that we think that it's going to be this easier linear path. You know, we're going to go straight from light bulb to struggle street to acceptance avenue to flow and then integration, but it's not like that most of the time. Most of the time, in fact, it's like all over the shop, and that's often what the path to success looks like. So remember, when you get that great business idea that literally drops in and glows up like a light bulb, that you have the ability to take it all the way. But the key is to be able to get down Struggle Street and out the other end. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm Lena Broughton. I'm a creative leader, a speaker, and a facilitator, and a business mentor. So have a look down in the details below to see how you can connect with me. And please like, share, follow, subscribe, all the things, and I'll see you again soon.